is New Year's Eve. I hope you've had an amazing time so far. I haven't done any cooking much over this season. It's been pretty quiet, and that's why I haven't been sharing stuff with you guys. As you know, I usually make my omelets for a few days, so I'm just making those now. But let's get over to the purpose of this video. I made this last week, I think it was a week and a half ago, and it was really great. I know it doesn't look like much right now, but these make the tastiest beef burgers stroke steaks, and it's super easy to make. I'm going to be making two versions because I am kind of off gluten at the moment, so I'm being really sensitive about what I can eat. But this white substance here is actually just loads of garlic blended with a little bit of water. So I don't have any garlic powder, I ran out, so I'm using real garlic. And then this is brown lentils. This is the base of what we're going to be making. My kitchen's super untidy at the moment because I've had a day. Forgive me, but just going to show you because I know you would prefer to see the recipe rather than be worried about my messy kitchen. So in here I've put probably about 2.5 cups of lentils, and I'm going to be making this batch with vital wheat gluten because my hubby really likes a meaty texture. And what I did with this in the last week was I used it for like a homemade Big Mac. And so I want to show you this. This is a rough version. Next week I'm going to be getting like my proper camera set up with my lights and stuff like that for the kitchen, and I'll be able to show you guys better stuff, and I'll be able to do it with two hands because, as you know, I'm always holding my phone. So let's get going with this, and all I'm going to do is blend this, the brown lentils which I already cooked yesterday. Let me just go here, so I need to turn off the oven, the pan, so I'm still cooking. And I'm going to blend this with some water, not that much, just enough for it to move around. I'm going to put a little dollop of browning. You can use whatever brand you want. This is just for that nice brown or browner color. Probably about a teaspoon, maybe even less is possible. And then I'm going to use umami. Umami is the brand I get when I'm in the States, but it's just basically mushroom powder, mushroom granules. I use the non-MSG version because I can't tolerate MSG. And then I also add some fried shallots. So they're like the baby onions that are already fried off, and I buy those, so I'm gonna put those in because I want them to be blended out, but it gives it a really great flavor and the smell is really amazing. Then I'm gonna also put in a little shake of the nutritional yeast, just taking out my preservers which I put in there to keep it good. So I can just shake it in. Alright, so I'm going to put probably about, let's call that 2 or 3 tablespoons. And I'm really not bothered about being tidy this time. I have had an extremely long day. And I don't know about you, but I'm tired. And so I was going to make it quickly, and then I remembered that I said to myself, I've got to show you guys and gals and folks when I made this next, because it's too good not to share. Alright, so I'm going to get probably maybe half a teaspoon of salt. Pink salt I use. Don't use too much of it because it comes out quite salty. And then I can put a little bit of thyme in there. And then I'll probably put a little shake of oregano as well. And for the flavor, I'm going to just put a little bit of black pepper. And this will make you a really, really fast, let's say you know, a family member or somebody's coming over and they eat meat. They don't eat meat, and you need a fast solution and you can't get out to the store, you've got a couple of hours. This is it. After this blending process, which is about 10 minutes to get all the ingredients together and get everything pulled together, it is 30 minutes of the dough resting. And then after that 30 minutes of the dough resting, you just do a few bits and then prepare it, and then boom, it's pretty easy. It's like 45 minutes cooking, and then once it's cooked, you put it to the side. You can fry it on a barbecue, cover it in oil, do whatever you want, make yourself happy, but it's just super easy to do. I'm just going to show you the base of it now. All right, so I've gotten the core parts together. The last thing I hadn't gotten together yet was the chickpea flour. And the chickpea flour adds the extra protein to it that you're looking for. Obviously, the lentils themselves are actually really good when it comes to giving you a protein and fiber boost. So I'm going to just go ahead and blend this now. And again, I'm recording this and going on live because I've got no space on my phone, but I'm getting myself a new SD card, which will have, it's gonna have 512. So I'm just gonna put you down so I can get some water. Didn't get a lot of water, but anyway, just got a little bit here, and I'm gonna find the top. Here we go. And just blend this, so give me a second, it's gonna get noisy. Try that again. And you want it to be smooth. It's just making some choppy noises. I'm not used to it making those sounds. But you want it to be smooth. I don't like the noises it's making. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Maybe it's that. Anyway, so it's nice and smooth now, as you can see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna throw it into here. Or some of it at least, because it's a bit too much in there for me to blend in the chickpea flour, but I would like to have blended in the chickpea flour, but it's not really a problem. I mean, I can mix it in separately. But yeah, I'm happy with the consistency. You can see it's quite sloppy. If you've got a super good blender, you can make it really smooth and give it a taste. Taste is good. And it's got that peppery flavor from the garlic. That some of that flavor will come out. It's gonna kind of come down. So, you know, don't be worried about adding extra garlic unless you're allergic to it. But what I realized with this recipe is you could very easily use the same recipe and just kind of like form them differently, not as burgers, but instead you can form it as as a sausage. I'm not sure about how well it would stay up by forming it like as chunks of meat, because this one is made so that it doesn't have a chewy texture. It's just a really, really good bite, and when you bite in it like a burger, it kind of, you know, succumbs to your mastication. So anyway, this is where I'm at so far. Now what I need to do, I actually need to use 2 hands full. So I think I'm going to put you down for a second. This is not great for a video, but give me a second. I'm going to clear my side, and then I'm going to get out the mixer, because I need to do this with the mixer, otherwise I won't be able to show you guys stuff. So just hold on a moment. I don't have anything exciting to let you look at. Here you go. You can see my omelets that I made. I'm getting myself a new tripod and a camera that has lights, which is going to be really great. And I never really intended to have a cooking channel, but I just happened to cook and everybody loved my food. So what I wanted to do was just kind of share the things that I was doing and what I was making, because I know that other people will benefit from it. You guys will benefit. So that's the reason I have my cooking channel. So I'm just now putting the what's this thing called? The mixer together. And then if you don't have a lot of time as well, what you can do is you can kind of like do this prep part and then just leave the dough in the fridge. You don't even have to cook it right away if you don't have the time. Depending on what time I finish, I might do that, I'm not sure. But I'm just going to show you, I think I should be able to do the rest of this with one hand. So, yeah. Okay, I can come back now because I think I can do the rest with just one hand. Okay. So what I'm going to do is put probably a cup of chickpea flour, and then I'm going to mix in 2 cups roughly of vital wheat gluten. So this is the gluten version that's going to be like super meaty in texture. Around 2 cups. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I will just go ahead and mix those 2 a little bit together. And I'm not afraid to add more vital wheat gluten if I need it. I might need it because this is a little bit of a bigger quantity than I did the last time. But I just want you to notice this has been about 13 minutes so far, and it's longer because I'm explaining it. But if I was doing this just me and my kitchen, it would have been like 10 minutes in total, including getting all the ingredients together and doing the mixing. So I'm gonna use something to get a scraper, so I need my hand again. So I'm still here, don't worry, even though it looks like I'm not. I'm just gonna scrape all of this out. And I wonder what you have as a fast meal. What do you do if you have to make your vegan meat from scratch? Do you make it from scratch, or do you just go ahead and buy something that's already pre-made? I know the way that things work, it really makes us feel that, you know, we're not supposed to be doing this stuff ourselves at home, but the best thing you can do for your health is just give yourself the treat and the blessing of good health And that honestly does come from knowing everything that is in what you're eating, because there are really some bad actors when it comes to food. And at least if you know to the best of your ability what's in what it is that you're cooking, and you cook things as much as you can from scratch. Even some of the canned foods, they are canned for a very, very long time before they make it to your plate, to your can, which you buy in the store. And I'm not kind of against people who need to do it for convenience, but where you can, I would definitely encourage you to do it yourself. Alright, so this is mixing now. Just going to encourage it along. Oh, I forgot the oil. I need a little bit of oil in there. I'll get the oil. And I would say probably about a tablespoon of oil is enough. If you want more, you can. I mean, it does give it a really nice flavor and a good texture. You don't want, who wants dry burgers? Nobody wants that. You can see it's already combining really well. I would probably say I need to add a little bit more of the vital wheat in here, because it is combining, but it's nice and moist, but it doesn't have the meaty texture. And that's okay, I'll add it like a couple of tablespoons at a time. Just give it a quick check so you can see what it looks like. Know for when you're doing it at home. See here, see it's got some kind of a little bit of gluten build up there, but it's not enough. So I'm just going to get all of that powder from the bottom, and then I'm just going to add, it's nice that it's coming off clean, so it's already combined well. And the last time I made this, like I said, it was supposed to just be quick, which I did, and I didn't even use the mixer. So it's definitely something you can do with your hand if you don't have a mixer. And this is the vital wheat gluten, which I'm just adding a little shake more. And this is going to give you that Big Mac burger type vegan burger. The vital wheat gluten has more of a texture that's similar to meat. And it's very easy to make at home, and it's extremely cheap. When you buy vegan burgers or Beyond Burger, it's expensive, especially if you have to eat vegan every day. It can be really expensive to be a vegan. You don't eat vegetables only, so it can get really expensive. And I found making my own vegan meats at home help really combat that. And again, the big benefit is I know what's inside of my food. So here we are, we're about 19 minutes in, but again, if I was just doing this with just myself in my kitchen, I would have done all of this in 10 minutes, maybe 12. So it's still mixing and combining. And I probably used a little bit more chickpea flour than I did last time that I made this, but it's because I actually used more of the base than I did last time. And I wanted to also point out that if you want a darker brown color, just go ahead and add a little bit more of the browning during the mixing process, which is what I did the last time. And it will kind of like marble in. And it will get a little bit darker when you're cooking it, but if you want that deep, dark, you know, beefy kind of look that you get in a burger, then that's where you get it from, is from the browning. You could also get it from doing like some really well cooked mushrooms as part of the recipe. So you would basically cook the mushrooms out. I've done this before and I do it with my beef. You cook the mushrooms out and then you blend them up and you get a great flavor from there, great umami flavor. And you also get a darker color. If you can get shiitake mushrooms or something like that, that will be really, really good. Or even oyster mushrooms, and then just really cook them down, get a lot of flavor and texture in there, and then blend that out. It comes out really good. It really does add character to your vegan meats. So I think I'm kind of happy with this now. So it's moving quite nicely. Just going to push that bit down. Alright, I think I'm pretty much happy with that now. And you can see here already, it's kind of like moving like meat. Still a bit stickier than I would like than when I did it last time. But overall, it's a lot better than it was before. I might just... No, I think it will be alright. Yeah, you can see the gluten strands developing now. But it is a little bit softer than it was the last time I make it. So you can see here, that's what it looks like. That's that kind of meaty type pull that you're looking for when you're making vegan meat from scratch. I'm just going to give it just a little bit more of the vital wheat gluten, just to bring a little bit less of the moisture, to take away a little bit more of that moisture. And then once I've finished this, I'm just going to break it into small balls, leave it to the side for half an hour so that it can just develop and rest. And that will give us a really lovely, like I say, like that Big Mac, vegan Big Mac burger texture. I really should have taken some pictures and posted them, but by the time I put it on the plate, it was kind of like ready to go. But this really does make an amazing texture, and it's a really great vegan steak stroke vegan burger. I'm also gonna kind of make some strips of it, which I think I should be able to pull off a kind of like spare rib or a thin rib. And then last week what I did as well, because I made about, I think maybe about 9 of them. Yeah, this is good. I made about 9 of them. Thank you for the like. I made about 9 of them, and on one day I took 2 of them, which I covered in barbecue sauce, and then just basted it, put it in the air fryer, and then my hubby ate that as just literally just as steaks, and it was really good. I put it with some potatoes and it came out really great. So anyway, here it is, and this is all in like 8 minutes of mixing. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get a flat table area. Normally I would use this desk area that I'm on, but I have got a lot going on here. But what I would do is I'd basically break it into sizes like this inside the palm, not big at all. And that would probably be okay for a sausage as well. like I say, you can use this for a sausage, steak, burger. And again, I'm not sure if it would be as great if it was chunks of meat, but I can't see why it wouldn't be okay. But this does really well as a very thin steak. You do not get that extra chewiness that you don't like to get when you're having a vegan steak. So anyway, this is what it looks like now. If you liked it to be more pink, I want it to be brown like a beef burger. If you wanted it to be pink, you just simply use or a little bit more pink. I mean, you would probably not use brown lentils, you would probably use the white or the red lentil. Then you could use pink food coloring. So anyway, this is what we want. We want pieces like this, and we want to give it time for it to rest. So let me see if I can do this with one hand. And like I say, next week I should have my tripod, my lights, and I'll be able to do much more professional style videos where I can use two hands and really give you a good demonstration. Right now I'm still just using one hand with my phone. I'm also going to get some more phone storage, and that will mean I don't have to do lives which it's unedited. I can kind of do these. It's just a little bit of oil I have on here, and this is what I'm looking for. I want this here, and then later, once I've given it kind of half an hour to rest, this will be really malleable, and then all I do is push it down with my palm, and then once that's done, I'll fry it off. It'll kind of become twice the size, and then I'll fry it off and then put them to the side and then just steam them for 40 minutes, and that is all that it takes. And then if you wanted to, which is what I did, is after the steaming process, I just basically put some seasoned oil in the pan, and then I fried them off because my hubby wanted a burger. And so this is basically where this recipe came from. It was just literally a fast burger. Instead of jackfruit, I wanted to give him something that kind of tasted more meaty. So this is simply where it comes from. You can see already the gluten strands are developing, and it's really easy to do this recipe. It's really easy, and I think that's what I'm looking for now. I'm just looking for recipes that don't take as long. Even though they're delicious, some of the ones that I really developed the flavor profiles and stuff like that on, it just takes a bit more time than I can always give. So here I'm just really looking for simple recipes. And the funny thing is, just by doing this now for, let's say, an hour and a half, this will be enough meat for, because I'm not eating gluten at the moment, so this will be enough meat for my hubby for almost 2 weeks, mixed in with other things that we eat throughout the week. And most days I will have quinoa and veggies and huge salads and lentils and chickpeas. I haven't had chickpeas for a few weeks actually, but these are getting a bit bigger than they need to be. I don't think they need to be this big. And if you wanted to do one that was like a really big steak, go for long and flat as opposed to thick, because sometimes when you make a vegan steak, it can come out a bit chewy if you're not fortunate on how you control your temperature. And so I'm always kind of like striving for the happy face of my hubby. He is brutally honest with me if he likes something or doesn't, which is helpful because I always want something to taste good. And taste and texture are both important. Ugh, drop that on the floor, throw that one away, continue with a different one. So yeah, taste and texture is really, really important for me. And this will give a really, really good texture. So if you've got any questions, feel free to put them in the comments and I will answer them while I'm cooking. And you can see how many pieces this is making, but honestly it could make more pieces. Some of these are a bit big than they should be. And I would normally just rip it off with my hand, but I'm using the scissors because I'm one-handed right now because I'm holding my phone. And it doesn't have to be fancy, you know. So I'm just going to put that in half. And that is done. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so I've got 20 pieces. Honestly, this should be like 22 pieces. 22, maybe 23, but it's fine. I'm going to leave it as is. Just going to spray it with a little bit of oil so it doesn't dry out. And then I'm just going to cover it with another piece of this paper. This is a paper that on one side it looks like paper, and then the other side it's got like a thin gloss film. If you let Vital Wheat gluten touch paper, forget about it. You will never ever get that to not adhere. You won't be able to get a good use out of it. So always make sure to use grease-proof paper. Do not use anything that's just normal paper. Don't use tissue. You can use cling film if you want to, plastic wrap, saran wrap, but never ever ever normal paper. All right, so that takes care of us for now. I don't really have anything else to show you because it's going to take about 30 minutes or so. Hubby and I are pretty hungry, so I'm going to try and go back on live once I come back to this, which will be sometime in the next 30 minutes to an hour. But that's all it takes. This 30 minutes will be it resting. That's it. And the more it rests, the easier it will be to just flatten it and it won't retract and come back and be spongy. So it needs that rest time. So I'm just going to leave it here and cover this up with some, you know, like a cloth, tablecloth, or tea cloth, and that's it. So if you've got any questions, go ahead and put them into the comments. I will reply. I always reply to the comments and try to answer stuff, and if I didn't make something clear in a video, I will try to make another video to follow up to give that answer. But thank you so much for watching so far, and this is our quick beef burger stroke steak recipe, and I'm just going to rest this now, and then it will be phenomenal when I come back. Thank you so much for watching, and I will come back on live a little later.